In this video, I'm going to do a dump and fill on my lifetime Mazda ATF fluid. This is a Mazda 3, it's a 2013, has a Skyactiv engine and a 6-speed transmission. So if you have a Mazda that has that combination, it's going to be pretty similar. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the air filter housing, which involves disconnecting the flexible rubber hose, removing the air filter, and then removing the air box from the bottom. To get the air box out, there's just one bolt that holds the bottom of the air box in, and you got to remove that, but mine's broken, so I don't need to remove that today. There's some air ducting pieces that need to come out as well, but overall pretty easy. Once it's all disconnected, you could just pull that bottom of the air box straight out. I did a dump and fill at 250,000 kilometers. Now my car's at 300,000, so that's my plan, is to do this every 50,000 kilometers. I might actually do it a little bit more frequently because you only get about 50% of the fluid out. The dipstick is located down low and is secured by a 10mm bolt. So I'll take that out and I'll pull the dipstick. Now I put in quite a bit of effort to make sure I just put the fluid right back to the same level. So it's in between the 2 and the F. So that's one marker I use to determine if I got the same amount of fluid back in. And to remove the bolt from the drain pan is an 8mm hex. I've already taken off the lower skirting. However, I use a lot of zap straps, so you just need to figure out how to remove your own lower skirting. It's not that difficult. It's a series of 8 and 10mm bolts, and you can take that off yourself. Once you get the drain plug loosened up for the transmission fluid, it comes off very easily by hand. And then that's pretty much it. It just drains out. And for the Mazda 3s, I've been getting about 3.4 liters out. The crush washer is the same as the one for the engine oils, so I would recommend getting it from Mazda. It is very cheap. They cost about $2 if they charge you at all. I'll screw the drain plug back in, and the torque spec I use is 25 foot-pounds. I don't have any torque spec for this vehicle because I don't have a manual for it. However, I just use the same torque spec as the one I use for the engine oil. And just a point, removing the drain pan and the filter is preferable, but you can see how rusty my bolts are, and I've had quite a bit of bad luck with extremely rusted transmission fluid pan bolts, and I don't want those to snap off, so I'm not going to worry about the transmission pan or the filter. I feel I've gone 300,000 kilometers, it's going well, I'm going to leave it at that. So the second way I'm going to make sure that I get the exact same amount of fluid back into the transmission is to use my wife's measuring cup. Now, other than spilling the transmission fluid all over the walkway into our house, I will get an exact measurement of 3.4 liters of fluid out of this thing. And you can see that fluid is supposed to be like a bluish green. It is definitely like a reddish black now. So the fluid does get dirty. What they mean by lifetime, I'm not sure. So you can see it's 400 milliliters. So 3 1 liters plus the 400 milliliters in this container. Obviously 3.4 liters. And I'm going to put the exact same amount back in. I don't do a whole lot of testing with the dipstick and warming up the vehicle. I just replace the exact same amount of fluid that I took out. And that's my whole method here. So I use 2 funnels, one long and then one of a wider, short, stubby one. And I have 2 different kinds of transmission fluid. It's all ZF. One's just older. The new bottles are 946 milliliters and the old ones were a full liter. So I have one bottle that has 500 milliliters in it. And obviously the other 2 are missing 50 milliliters for some reason. And that'll bring me back down to 3.4 liters. And I don't do a whole lot of measuring here. I already know that I have right about 3.4 liters to throw back in the transmission. And that's all I do. And as I'm pouring this, you could see that the fluid is definitely not red. It is definitely a bluish green color. So it gets massively dirty in this transmission. And this is, like I said, the second time I've done it. So I will keep doing this, although I'm not doing it as frequently as maybe I would do a standard automatic transmission. And just one point, the 6-speed takes FZ fluid and the 5-speed takes an M5. So just make sure you know what fluid to put in your transmission if you're going to do this. And then doing the little dipstick test, obviously I do make sure the fluid is exactly at the same level it was before I started this process, and it's very close. I'm sure 30 or 40 milliliters aren't going to make a world of difference here. I'm now going to take that bolt, put it back on for the dipstick, and make sure the dipstick is fully secured. Obviously, if you don't secure that dipstick, you could have fluid splashing out, which would be not good at all for your transmission. The air filter box goes back in fairly simply. There's some bushings that it has to connect to, on the bottom. And then, like I said, if you have a non-broken air box, then you're gonna have to reconnect that bracket that I do not have to reattach. The airbox is tight to get in there, but it is very achievable. And then once it's in place and sitting on the two bushings in the back, obviously you could then bolt down that bracket on the front. I don't have to do that. I'm just gonna go straight to putting this one piece of air ducting in place. Then I put the air filter in, and then I'm gonna move the top down. Again, you do not have to disconnect that wire. You can just keep that wire connected. Once the top of the air filter box is secured with the two clips, you could then take your Phillips head screwdriver and reconnect the rubber hose that connects to the air filter box. Now, if you drained it and had no idea where you started from or how much fluid you took out, you may need to do a little bit more of a detailed fill on this, as well as start the engine and run through the gears and make sure it's at the correct temperature when you're doing your measurements. Anyway, that's my method. It worked well to get me from 250,000 K to 300,000 K, and I've been driving it for about 2 weeks after doing this change, and I've had no issues. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.